All right, everybody, welcome. Welcome to the first ever episode of Inside of Tizi's Mind. Smells like I want to give you a heads up that I want to keep this podcast very put together and have some sort of structure, but that's not the way my mind works. And my mind is all over the place. That's why this podcast is called like this, and I'm giving you a heads up on the first episode because of it, because I know that as much as I always try to articulate my thoughts in a very structured way, it's never like that. My thoughts just go all over the place. So expect that, okay? We're gonna try to follow a couple bullet points, but I know I'm gonna end up getting sidetracked. But anyways, for the first episode, I decided that we're going to talk about self-worth, which is something that I've been thinking lately, but more recently due to something that happened a couple of days ago, which made me overthink a little bit. I was a bit worried. I was not worried. Worried's not the word. I was a bit reactive. I know that every time I react more intensively to something, it means that it has triggered something else inside of me. And that's when I know that I need to pay attention to it. I'm going to I have my cozy, I have my blanket in here. We're going to get cozy together. This is not going to be the setup for the podcast, just for the first episode, because it's the first episode, but I think on a daily basis, I'm gonna end up filming in my room, but we're still gonna keep the cozy vibe, okay? Because we're having a chat here together, even though I'm the one speaking. We're still having a chat, okay? You and me, that's why we have Mr. Teddy here, Mr. Whiskers, for that reason. That's you and me talking together, okay? Mr. Whiskers is a very nice little bully. Well, it's a chubby bully over here. You see, I'm getting sidetracked already, but I just wanted to introduce you, Mr. Whiskers. He's not going to be with us in every episode, unfortunately, but he's with us in the first one. I want you to know him, that he's here for you and for me. Okay, back to the point. What I was saying before. Self-worth. Self-worth. I think it's something that we all listen to, that we all have heard before, but most of us, including myself, most of us either struggle to understand what it means or just we don't know what it means at all. And I would say for a very, very long time, I was that person that I would hear it everywhere, like, oh, self-worth, you need to know what you're worth it, you're worth this, and you're worth that. But I didn't understand it. I didn't know what it was until recently. I want to say I am a grown-up woman, that I have some experience. I still feel like a teenager, but again, let's go back to the first point. I think this also is for myself, not just for you that you are watching and listening to the podcast, but also for myself. Because I know I put a lot of pressure on myself if I don't follow my bullet points or if I don't follow some sort of a structure. But I need to remind myself that I'm a very chill and kind of chaotic person. So it's okay if I keep this podcast not as formal and like all perfectly put together and this and that. Like I want to keep it chill so it's easier for myself, and I guess easier for you too, but mainly for myself, because the more pressure I put on myself, the less I enjoy doing things. And I really want to enjoy right now. I'm enjoying this, but I don't want to feel anxious to film a podcast because I'm not following the bullet points, or I'm not following the guidelines, or this and that. So, yeah. Even though this is called Inside of Tizi's Mind, which I forgot to mention, the reason why we're calling the podcast Inside of Tizi's Mind, because You see, I'm going all over the place again. The reason why we're calling the podcast this way is because I have a lot of thoughts, okay? Let's draw there. But also, I think I have learned a lot through my years. And this is something I was saying the other day and thinking the other day. The thing is, I am an only child. I don't have siblings. I don't have a brother or a sister. I don't have anything, okay? And I always wished I had kind of an older sister or an older brother that would kind of guide me and help me growing up. But it was not like that. I was always my own company, and I had to be my own older sister. So because of that, I have learned a couple things throughout my years, okay? So I feel like I don't want people to be in my same situation. If there's anyone out there that's also an only child, or for any reason, they're somehow alone in their life, I want you to know that you're not alone. I kind of want to take on that big sister role, and I want to try to be that for other people. So that's also why we're starting the podcast, and I'm just going to share my thoughts and the things I've learned, and I want to share my mentality to all of you. And I guess also this is for my younger self, for that little 15-year-old girl or that 5-year-old little girl that she was afraid or she was scared and she didn't have anyone to talk to. I kind of want to talk to her now. So all my words are for you and for her. That's kind of the what's the word? The idea of the podcast. And also, look, I also think that my brain works in a very interesting way. Okay, because I've been told this in the past too. So I thought, why not share it with the world, I love sharing the way I am with everybody else. And there's a lot of things that go through here, okay? So, welcome to Inside of Tizi's Mind. Now, let's recap and let's go back. Now that I have done the introduction to the channel, not the channel, the podcast. I have a podcast. I've been dreaming to have a podcast for so long. I'm filming my first podcast, my first episode. I know, I told you before, okay? This podcast is already all over the place. But it's my podcast, okay? I rule it, and I decided how it's going to be, so it's okay. Let's go back to the topic, the main topic that I wanted to talk about in today's episode, and that was self-worth. Self-worth. How could I describe this? I didn't have anything planned, to be honest. I'm kind of improvising, because that's also something that that's how I wanted to treat the podcast, kind of as an improvisation. Is that the right word? I'm not sure. I wanted to improvise with the podcast, because the thing is, I know that if you give me a topic and then if I start talking or thinking about something, the ideas will flow, okay? My ideas will flow into it, and then everything will come out, because I've done it before. I know how my brain works, okay? Sometimes I don't, but most times I do. So I thought, I'm just going to start speaking, because I know naturally the ideas are going to flow into my brain, into my mind, into the podcast. But you see, I'm losing track of what I'm saying. Self-worth. Why am I saying this? Well, I'm going to start with what happened a couple of days ago. That kind of reminded me that I can't forget about my self-worth. So the thing is, the other day, right, I've been hanging out with a guy that I met recently, and a couple of weeks ago we said that for the Easter holidays we would do lots of activities together, right? We planned a couple things. Well, we planned. we said that we were going to do this and then we were going to do that. Okay, and I think we said that in a very serious way. I took it seriously. So again, 1 week goes by and I'm not the best texter, or I'm not the best at messaging and sending messages to people. I am more of a face-to-face person, okay? So if you want to have a conversation with me, we meet up and we talk. But don't expect to have a conversation with me over text messages, because that's not me. You send me a text for something important straight away, straight to the point, done. Thing is, we were having a conversation, kind of, and I stopped getting back to his messages because I am also busy with my own life. So 1 week goes by, and I ask him, hey, what are your plans for next week? Which means this week, Easter holidays. And I said, what are your plans for next week? How's your schedule? We need to plan our activities. Because again, I said I really had it in mind. I really wanted to do activities, loads of activities with him this week. Okay, I was really looking forward to that. He sent me a voice message, and he kind of said, we'll see, because I have to train for this competition, and it depends how busy I am during the days and this and that. So I understood that we were going to kind of improvise, that we couldn't put a date and a time this week for our activities. That's kind of what I understood. I didn't get back to that message because, well, again, I was busy because with work and other things, blah, 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 blah. This week comes around. Easter holidays, Monday, okay? I sent him a message again. I understand that. Let me not get ahead of myself. I sent him another message again. I said, hey, we need to put a time and a date to plan an activity, okay? And then he says to me, sorry, I have my whole week planned already. I didn't, because you didn't get back to me. And I was like, excuse me? As in, look, everyone they have the right to do whatever they want with their lives. That's completely okay. They're free to do what they want with their time. That's okay. And I know that this guy and me, we didn't have anything it was discussed verbally that we were going to do stuff for this week. I understand that. Nothing was really, set. Fine. But I was really looking forward to this week to do plans with him. And it made me feel that no one counts on me, no one takes me into consideration, and that bothered me, okay? I said it to him, I talked to him, because that's the right thing to do. When something bothers you, doesn't matter if it happened with someone that you know, someone you don't know, someone that's close to you, someone that's not close to you, you speak up, okay? We speak up. We don't keep our feelings and emotions to ourselves, especially when someone else has triggered those emotions and those feelings. We speak up and we explain to people how we feel, because we can't expect people to read our minds. And it's also not fair. It's also very selfish from us to not speak to people anymore just because they did something to us or they made us feel this way or that way. No, you speak up, you explain your issue, you try to come to, a solution. And if you don't get a solution, then okay, then you take a different approach to the situation, but we speak up, okay? So I spoke my mind to him, and he said, well, this is yesterday, okay? Yesterday. He said to me, well, I might have some time tomorrow. Listen, I am not someone, as much as I love improvising and spontaneous plans, I do not like things like this, like all over the place, like, hey, well, maybe we can do something tomorrow, just because it's the only time that I can. No, I also have my life, I also have other things to schedule. Yes, I can move them around, but I don't like working this way. So, But still, though, kind of said, okay, let's see what we can do. Also, something that I don't like is there's a difference between we said we're meeting up Thursday and then we improvise what we do. And a whole different thing is, well, we might meet up tomorrow. That's still, not sure. And if we do meet up tomorrow, we still have to decide what we're doing. So there's no plan, and it's just going to be a waste of time, your time and my time. And I do not like wasting my time. Let me tell you that. Okay, so I ended up telling him today, look, it's just not suitable because of the way we worked it out. I'm telling you right now, so you still have time to make other plans, and also I can go on with my day. But the thing is, where am I trying to go with all this? The thing is, I have a very good friend of mine here, right? That he treats me like a princess. Okay, and he's my friend. He said to me, because I'm gonna give you another situation so you can understand where I'm trying to go. Last week, I asked my very good friend from here, hey, we need to plan something for next week, Easter holidays. He said to me, well, I don't know my hours yet, because he's just started a new job. I'll let you know in the next upcoming days. Fine. He texts me. Well, no, I texted him Monday, and I asked him how, I said, how does your schedule look like this week? And he said to me, I asked for Thursday off so we can do something. I didn't get back to him. He texted me again, even though I didn't get back to him the first time. He texted me again on Tuesday. Hey, I have Thursday off. Are we doing something together or not? Or I'm going to tell somebody else. You see where I'm trying to go in here? You see where I'm going in here? People that do consider you, I don't want to use the word chase because it's not the right word, but they do, what would be the right word? They are kind of after you, okay? They're behind you. They're right behind your back, behind your neck. My friend, I didn't get back to him, and him, instead of just going and telling somebody else and making plans with somebody else, he texted me again to ask me for a second time if we were going to do something this Thursday. Okay? Now, the other guy, I didn't get back to him. Fine. But I did ask. The thing that bothered me is I did ask him, okay, previously, how does your week look like so we can schedule something? I was the one that had the initiative. Wait, excuse me for a second. My throat is getting a bit dry. Water break. Let me put the mic away so you don't hear this. Actually, no. Actually, hear it. This is ASMR. That's like a Pepsi advertisement. Anyways, back to the point. The thing is, the other guy, even though I didn't get back to his messages, he could have sent me another message and say, hey, Tizi, are you free next week? Or this Tuesday to Thursday, whatever it was. He could have done that. I know that's out of my control. Completely fine. That's completely fine. But that only shows how much people actually kind of care about you. And the thing is, when I said to him what bothered me, the fact that he didn't count on me, he didn't take me into consideration when making his plan for this week, he said, well, the thing is, when you don't get back to me, I feel like you lost interest. And I do understand that part, but I said, look, you can't assume people has lost interest into you or anything. And asking does not cost anything. A little question here and there. If you tell me you tried a second time and you still got rejected or you still didn't get an answer from that person, then okay, you're right. Look, that person does not want anything with you, but you didn't even try. That's my point. You instantly assumed that I lost interest in you, and you went and you did your own thing, which is fine. But from my point of view, I think it's quite disrespectful. But anyways, now, going back to what I said, talking to my friend today, right? We're planning tomorrow, and he said, "Oh, because we're going on a hike. We're doing a hike." And he said, "Well, we'll need to bring some fruits, some snacks, and obviously like lunch." And he said, "Oh, well, we could make some wraps, some chicken wraps. I have the wraps in here. I just need the chicken and this and that." And I said, "Oh, that's a good idea." But I thought that we could also go to the grocery and just buy this and that. He sent me another message and he said, No. I'm making the wraps. I'm bringing them, and that's it." So not only my friend, okay, not only he got back to me, he's also bringing lunch, okay, and we're doing the plan that I wanted to do, because initially my friend wanted to do something different, which I wasn't really into it, but it was an activity and I'm okay with that. But I said, I would like to do this hike. He wanted to do a different activity. He said, okay, that's fine, let's do the hike. So, not only my friend asked me again if I was free for Thursday, he's bringing lunch, and also he gave in, kind of, to do the activity that I wanted to do. And that's when you know people care about you. That's where I'm trying to go. When someone really appreciates you and cares about you and takes you into consideration, these kind of things come easily. These kind of things, they come alone naturally. Okay? I didn't have to force anything. I didn't have to ask him for anything. I didn't have to beg him for anything. My friend was already there thinking about this, thinking about that. He was the one saying, no, I'm making the wraps. I'm bringing lunch for both of us. That's how you know people, that's how you know how much people, that shows how much people actually care about you. And that's what I was trying, that's my point. I was a bit upset because this guy did not take me into consideration, and I said, maybe it was me, maybe I did something wrong, Yes, maybe it was me because I didn't get back to him. And I have this tendency that I point fingers at myself every time something happens. There's other people that they point fingers at everybody else. They are not, they're not able to admit they've done something wrong. They always blaming everybody else. In my case, it's the other way around. It's very easy for me to blame myself instantly instead of thinking, actually, no. Actually, the other person was the one who did something wrong. So I was feeling a bit down because I thought, yes, my fault. It's always because, I never get back to people. I should be better with messaging and this and that. No. After what my actual friend has done for me, the one that I said he's bringing lunch tomorrow and making the chicken wraps, after that reminded me, no, I am worthy of people caring about me. I am worthy of having princess treatment. I don't want to sound arrogant, because that's not the point. My point is, you do not deserve less. You deserve exactly what you want. And that's how you know your self-worth. I was down because I thought that I did something wrong, and I was doubting my own self-worth. And then my friend reminded me, hell no. I am worthy of people taking me into consideration and caring about me. And if they really care about me, they would send me a second message, because I have other friends that do that. I might not get back to them, and they know that. They know I'm not good at messaging, but they always send another message, whether it's after a month, whether it's after a couple days. They always get back to me. And I understand that. I met this guy not long ago. So he doesn't owe me anything, He doesn't have to give me an explanation. He doesn't have to have me into consideration. But if we all go around treating people like they're nothing just because we don't know them that well, just because they haven't been part of our life for that long, that's why the world, it's the way it is. Because we're incapable of making a chance, and we're following this little path, and we're doing exactly what everyone does. Oh, I don't know this guy that much, so I'm not going to help him. Evan. I don't want to swear in my podcast. I swear a lot, okay, on a daily basis, but I don't want to do it in the podcast because I feel like it sounds very vulgar. So I'm taking care of my podcast. Where was I going with all this? If we all do what everyone does, that's why you will never see a chance. And let me tell you, I am someone that I will stand forever and ever to this. And that is, if you want to see a change in the world, you need to start with yourself. And I know someone said this already. Someone important said this. I think it was Gandhi. I'm not sure now. Someone said this already. Let me look it up for you. If you want to see a chance in the world, if you want to see a change, I knew it. It was Gandhi. Be the change you wish to see in the world. Same thing. And I think for as long as I can remember, since I was a child, that kind of mentality, that kind of, what's the word? I can't remember the word now, but that kind of idea has always been in my mind. If we always go around doing what everyone does, well, then don't complain that the world's the way that it is, because you are part of it and you're not making anything different to change it. So I apply that to myself all the time. I think I treat people the way I want to get treated, okay? It doesn't matter whether I know you, I don't know you, whether I met you 5 seconds ago or whether I met you 5 years ago. I will treat them the way I want to get treated, okay? The way I want people to treat me back. Because we're all humans at the end of the day. And that also shows how much respect you have for someone. If you go around and you say, just because I don't know you well, I'm going to treat you this way, you have no respect for that person. And that's bad. That's all I'm going to say. So, going back to what I was saying before, I told my friend, and I also told my best friend, I'm glad that this situation happened, and I'm glad that you said you bring in lunch and you're making the wraps, because I am not accepting less, My friend always asks me, why are you single? Why are you not dating anybody? Why are you not going on dates? Why are you not doing this and that? Listen, it's because I know my self-worth and I know exactly what I want. I don't want people to, I don't want to be your second plan or be in the background for you, okay? I know my self-worth. I know... I'm not sure I'm explaining exactly what self-worth is, which I'm going to do now, which I'm going to do in a minute, but let me finish with this thought first. I'm not accepting less. I am not accepting less, okay? I want people to think about me the same way I think about them. By this I mean, if I don't text you for 3 weeks, it doesn't mean anything. It just means I'm doing my own life, because I care about my life and I care about my goals and I work towards my goals, okay? I'm not behind chasing people. I'm not chasing people constantly because I have nothing else to do. No, I have a life. I have a life I need to build. I have a dream I need to chase. So I'm not texting you and not wasting my time texting 24/7, because if I do that to everybody that I know, Jesus, you know how much time that is? Anyways, where was I going with all this? Yeah, I'm not the best at texting, but Everybody that knows me, they know that face to face, I am there in the present moment with you. I am there. I'm not looking at my phone. Obviously, if like something important happens, then I'm gonna look at it. Like if someone's in the hospital, then excuse me for a second. Other than that, I don't pay attention to my phone if I'm with you. I'm in the process in the blah, 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 blah. You see, that happens when too many thoughts are trying to come out my mouth all at the same time, and I can process them as fast, like fast enough to say them all at once. So I get tongue tied for that. What was it saying? I completely lost track of what it was saying. Oh no! I was fearing this would happen. I don't know if I should edit this out or not. I don't know what I'm meant to do with the podcast, but anyways. Oh yeah. Well, like I might not text you back in weeks, but when you're there with me, you know that nothing has changed, and you know that you will get the best of me. I give everybody the best of me, and the important ones, let's say the top ones. When I say the top ones, I mean like my best friend, my best friends. They get even more from me. I always give everybody my best, and it doesn't matter whether I know them or not. We're all human, and I think there's nothing as beautiful as treating each other's kind and nice. I love when someone comes to the house and I say hi to them. I ask them how the days is going, and if I can offer them a cup of water or anything, I will do it. I think those are not only manners, but it's my way of reminding everybody that we're all the same. No, we're at the same level. It doesn't matter whether you have this job or that job, or we're not anyone's like above anybody or below anybody. Okay? So because of this, I treat everybody the same. I give them my best because I'm not trying to look over my shoulder to you. I'm not trying to put myself in a way that I'm like above you, and that's why I'm gonna look to you like this and not treat you with the same respect. No. So I want people that when they meet me, right, I want them to treat me the same way. And so where I'm going with all this is that if you know, okay, self-worth, how do we practice it? First, you need to know what you want. And also you need to know who you are. And I know that's a very hard question, let me tell you that, because I have a struggle my whole life to answer that question. Who am I? Who's Tizi? Because, and don't get me wrong, look, I'm still getting to know myself. Every day I get to know myself a bit better because I'm growing. And I'm growing with myself. So you will not know yourself 100%. Wait, did I say that right? You will never know yourself 100% because you're constantly learning about yourself. But it is important to have a certain level of knowledge and self-awareness. That's where it all starts. Start with self-awareness. If you don't know who you are and what you like and what you don't like, what you fear, what you don't fear, all those kind of things, then it's going to be very hard for you to know what you deserve because you have no clue what you are, what you like, and who you are, and all this. So it all starts there, okay? Get to know yourself. Take the time to get to know yourself. Go out on walks. Put yourself, to be honest, my best advice to this, right? My best take on this is put yourself in situations, in all the situations that you can think of. Because situations, those are the ones that really teach you. Not, let me go on a... Okay, no, actually, it's all connected. But I was going to say, if you go on a walk, you don't get to know yourself on a walk. Actually, you do, because it's a situation. Okay, it adds up to my point. Situations. Put yourself into new situations. Any situations that you already know, situations that you don't know, situations that you've been before, but you haven't been in a while. Put yourself in that situation again. Like myself, for example, I know what it's like dating. I know what it's like going to dates. But even though I know what that is, I know what it's like meeting someone else, meeting someone new, I still put myself out there again, over and over again, because every time I meet someone different, not only not only I learned from that new situation, but also it's a new situation. It's not the same as its previous ones. They can be similar, but they're not exactly the same. So I always learn from every single time I meet up with someone new. And it's very, very, what's the word? Enriching? It is. So let's start with putting yourself into new situations, and the way you handle the situations, it's how you will learn more about yourself. Because, for example, in this case, like I said, with this example that I just gave you, I put myself into a situation of I'm meeting, I'm getting to know this person. Oh, turns out they treated me this way. This way. He was a very nice guy. He's very chill. He's very easygoing. But he's the kind of one that assumes things and then just doesn't get back to you. I know I was the one that didn't get back to his messages, but come on. It's just a message. Anyways, out of the point. I learned from that situation that that's not the way I want to get treated. Whether you know me or you don't know me for that long, I don't want people to treat me that way. Like I'm a second thought. No. So that's the first point. Second point, once you've learned a couple things, once you have become a bit more aware of yourself, you got to keep practicing that over and over again, as much as you can. Because practice, it's what really creates, what's the word for this? The more you practice something, the more it will be engraved in your brain. Let's say it that way. If you do it once, let's say I learned that I'm afraid of clowns. Okay, I know that. But over time, I will forget. It won't be a strong thought in my head because I only learned that once. You got to keep practicing. So it sticks in your head and you know right away, bam, I know I'm afraid of clowns. I don't like clowns. I'm not going to a circus. To give you an example, okay? Okay, now I need a break because I've been thinking too much. And I lose track of everything that I'm saying all the time. Water break. This video is sponsored by my water bottle. Nice. Okay. Now, like I said, first point, get to know yourself a little bit. Second point, remember what you learned about yourself. And third point, I'm not sure if it's the most important one. I think they're all as important. The third point is sticking to what you said. Sticking to your word and sticking to who you are. That's what really I think makes a difference between knowing your self-worth and not knowing your self-worth. And what do I mean by this? If I say, look, I don't want people to treat me this way ever again. But then after a couple of months, I let someone else come into my life and then treat me the same way. I'm not sticking to my own word. I'm letting myself down. And that's not right, baby girl, okay? That's not right. You said you don't want people to treat you this way, then don't allow it. It's a simple, you know what's the funniest thing? Most of the hard things that we say they're hard, they're actually pretty simple. It's as simple as saying no and sticking to it. But as humans, we tend to complicate everything, and I include myself. okay? Because I like a little bit of drama at times. I'm a very intense person, and sometimes making simple things for myself, it's just not fun. But this is out of the point, okay? What I'm trying to say is, saying no is very simple. It's actually very simple. And you might not understand this right now, but once you click, something clicks in here. Once you understand this, saying no, it's actually very simple. I promise you, you will understand a lot of other things. Like a new door, it will open up in your brain. Trust me. Because as humans, we can be very rigid, right? Very like structured, like I'm in a box, I cannot, I can't be a circle. I can't be in a circle. I need to be within these four walls. Why? No. Just letting go. Saying no, it's a way of letting go. Letting go of that rigidness. That, you not being able to be a bit flexible. And once you learn to kind of let go of things and say, yes, I'm just going with it. Oh, but this and that. Why are you bringing up if, buts? Just let it go. So, going back to what I was saying before, sticking to your word means sometimes saying no. It's sticking to what you said you want, okay? If you want people to give you princess treatment, find the little, the little clues that mark that you get in that princess treatment and stick to them. If you find other clues that don't align with it, then that's not for you, okay? I know we fear that we might not find. I know we all fear the unknown, but that's the thing. If you don't know, what are you actually fearing? What are you so afraid of if you don't know? And it should be, I don't know if this is I think it's the way my brain works. And that's why I said before, I think my brain works in very interesting ways sometimes, but I know a lot of people that are afraid of the unknown. In my case, it's the other way around. I am attracted to the unknown. It's very appealing for me. Oh, what if I just broke up with my boyfriend? What if no one ever loved me again? How? You don't know that. What if someone better loves you even more? Like, isn't that fascinating to think? Like, you don't know. I know it's very easy to project in a very negative way the unknown. Like, oh, I don't know how to do this. I don't know. I don't have the answers for that. Therefore, it must be something negative. Don't know. Flip it over. You don't know. Flip it over the thought and maybe try to think, well, what if? If you're gonna start with the what if, then give it a more positive approach. What if it's something even bigger, even better? Like, you simply don't know. And that's the magic of it. That's the beauty of it. You don't know. Okay? So, let go to receive that magic, those better things. Okay? I don't know for how long I've been filming. Let me quickly double check. Okay, we still have battery. I think we still have. We've been filming for 44 minutes. I've been talking for 44 minutes non-stop. I am actually proud of myself because I thought I would have to cut this video. But no, you see, I told you. I knew that as soon as I would start talking, my ideas will flow, and then I would start connecting dots here and there. And I'm sure I touch other topics and other points in this podcast and this episode that maybe they weren't exactly towards what I was saying, but I think they're all connected and they all have to do with each other. So that, okay? I love the deck, it's so fluffy. Self-worth. Get to know yourself, okay? Get to know who you are. Once you know, remember those things over and over again as much as you can, and then stick to your word, okay? Stick to your word, please. Stick to your word because you love yourself. Stick to your word because you want a better life. Stick to your word because you want much more from this life. Okay, constantly going around and accepting less, it's what it's giving you the life that you have right now. Because you're accepting less. You're deciding that because you don't know if something better is gonna come or not. You might as well just accept what's right in front of you. And sometimes it's okay to work with what we have in front of us, but other times no. Okay, sometimes it's better to wait a bit longer until we get that thing that's worth our weight. Okay? And I say this, I'm gonna bring it to a very simple topic. For example, my dating life, okay? I've been single for a very long time. And the reason why I haven't jumped into a relationship is because I know exactly what I want from a relationship. So why would I accept less? Why, if you want apples and someone's offering you bananas, why are you taking the bananas? You're not starving, baby girl, okay? There's no need to go into starvation mode. If you want apples, wait till you get your apples. Don't accept the bananas or don't accept strawberries because you have nothing else. No. Like, again, this is very simple. You said you wanted A. Why are you taking B? Then you're not making sense. And I know this is a weird example, and I'm using fruits to explain myself, but I think the easier, if the example is very simple, then you will understand it better. Because at least that's the way my brain works. The easier you make it, the easier it will be for me to understand. So I try to make things simple for everybody too. So that, okay, if you said you wanted something, stick to that and wait. It'll be okay. It will come, okay? It will come. Trust it that it will come. I don't know. Maybe it's a me thing, but at least for me, it does really annoy me and bother me when let's say people offer me bananas and I know exactly that's not what I want. It's kind of tiring. I don't know if this has happened to you too or not, but it's kind of tiring when you keep getting not what you want. Because it's like, look, I'm not going to settle for less. It's as simple as that. So don't try to keep poking me to see if I react and if I take your sweets, because I'm not. And I have to clarify, I have worked a lot to get to this point, okay? I used to be the one that I would take all the fruits in the world just to fill my void, let's say that way. But not anymore, because I've learned that it's a vicious circle, right? You want this, you want something here. No, you want this, but you keep moving yourself around here. So how are you going to get there? Right? You keep saying that you want this one thing, but you keep playing around here. It just doesn't make any sense. So in order to get there, you have to stop playing in here, right? And try to kind of build a path towards this place. And by this, I mean, if you keep accepting everything that life throws at you, just because, then you can expect to have that other thing that you want, that other life that you want, that bigger thing that you want, that you desire so much. Learn to say no. No to bad habits. No to toxic people. No to less. This is something I preach a lot, and that is, if you don't ask, you don't get. So ask life. Ask for anything that you want. Ask for it. And then just leave it to the universe. Okay? Just wait patiently till it gives it to you. But ask. Well, where was I going with all this? Wait, now I'm trying to connect the ideas. There was something I wanted to say. No, I started saying this because I wanted to connect it to the previous idea, but I just forgot. Damn. I can't connect the ideas anymore. Well, what was I trying to say? If you don't ask, you don't get. I don't know. I don't remember. I just got that on camera. Well, if you don't ask, you don't get. So ask life. Ask life. Okay? And let it surprise you. Okay? Let it surprise you. You don't need to stay where you are. I really forgot what I was saying. I completely lost track of what I was saying. So I'm going to finish the episode here. And I hope this helped anybody. I try to work on the in future episodes, maybe a bit more, have some sort of structure without getting too sidetracked. But this was the first one, okay? And something else that I've learned growing up is that I don't need to be so hard and so perfectionist with myself, okay? And I've learned to be comfortable with that, to be honest. Obviously, there's one thing between always sticking to that, I don't have to be so perfectionist. And another thing is actually trying to improve yourself over time. But for now, I will improve over time. This is my first episode, so I don't need to be so harsh on myself. It was all over the place. Yes, it was. But that's exactly the way that I am. Sorry. If you ask my friends, they will tell you I have a very chaotic personality, all over the place. And I'm not trying to be anybody else. I'm not trying to be someone else. I'm not trying to be something that I'm not. I'm really trying to stick to who I am. And by this I mean, if this is the way I am, that's how I'm going to portray it into the podcast, into my videos, because it's simply how it is. Okay? I've tried to change in the past. I have tried for so long to be someone else. I've tried to be different versions, trying kind of to fit in and be accepted by people. Maybe not by people, maybe try to be accepted by my own self, because I disliked myself. But it didn't get me anywhere. You know, I was in this constant unhappiness, let's say it that way. But not anymore, because I have kind of embraced my chaotic self. This is going to be for a different podcast, but embracing yourself and insecurities, which I will talk again in a different podcast, because I could talk about that for a long time. I think it's one of my favorite, because I have worked on it a lot, you know, and I really wished someone should have told me this in the day, so I wouldn't have struggled with it so much. But anyways, this is the first episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And well, we'll see. We'll embark ourselves in another episode and see where it takes us inside of Tizi's mind.